Hey everybody, Justin here. Just finished up week 47 of 52 Kinds of Love, and here's how it went. So week 47 was dedicated to my buddy, Scott Chandler, and I think he is the only one that I forgot to put a picture or a little drawing there. So I was trying to think what I would put, and maybe I would put UD, where I met Scott, or maybe I'd put the state of Illinois because he's from Chicago, or maybe I'd put a guitar there because he taught me how to play free falling on guitar when I was a freshman at college and didn't know anything on guitar. And then when I really thought about it, I think that I would have put a $20 bill there. Scott and I had this moment. We were roommates our junior year. We lived on the same hall freshman year, but we were roommates junior year, and we're both writers. I write poetry. He would write poems and life analyzation, I guess, words of wisdom, and he let me borrow his journal one time, and I didn't know what exactly to do with it, other than read it, of course. So I left notes in there. I put little post-it notes or a letter in there. I'm not exactly sure what I did. That was a while ago. But I didn't tell him about it. And it was a while later. I think it was even our senior year. I think it was a whole year until he kind of discovered I put those in there. And he was like, hey man, finding your words was like finding a $20 bill in your winter jacket, the jacket you hadn't pulled out in 9 months, and it was kind of just like a little treasure. So I think that's what would have been on there had I done what I was supposed to do and put a little drawing on there. So anyways, I texted Scott at the beginning of the week. We called when he got off of work. We had time zone difference, him being in Las Vegas, but we talked for like half an hour. I got to know what he's doing in his classrooms, what he's doing different to inspire his kids. I checked out his blog that he has set up, not a blog, a website he has set up for his kids. So very interactive, visual videos, things for kids to check out online, inspiring stuff too. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then Scott shared with me a little secret. He said, we're not telling anybody yet, but we're about to have a baby. And so I didn't tell anybody, and then he made an announcement on Facebook. So I'm not ruining anything, I promise. So that was really cool, and the baby's supposed to be born like right by my birthday, so maybe he can name it after me. But it was cool just talking about like things that we do in education, because we were always on the same wavelength way back in college. Just how to spread kindness and inspire people and find the best in everybody. And it's cool that that's our job now. It's pretty awesome. So we talked a lot about that stuff. I rocked the Dayton shirt. Since that's where we met. I changed my Facebook profile to a picture of Scott and me and another person, where we were basically just collided, hugging on a table, cuddling. I don't know. It's a funny picture. You should check it out if you're my friend on Facebook. Another thing that we experienced at Dayton was more to life. So this is the t-shirt I'm rocking right now. I was actually wearing that in the profile picture, so it inspired me to get this out of the bottom of my t-shirt drawer. But it was a retreat that we went on, and basically it taught you how to look and find more to life than what you see. What can you see within people and inside? So we talked a lot about that, not only the memories that surrounded that, but Scott said something like, the people that were on that retreat with us weren't exactly like a mirror that like we got to hold up and look at ourselves and analyze ourselves, but it was like looking through like a different lens, or like a kaleidoscope. I'm trying to even see what I wrote down when we were having the conversation, and I don't know. But Scott said it was something like looking through a different lens, because it wasn't just a mirror reflecting back what we think we see. Someone else saw us in this different version, in this different perspective, and somehow we use that to be like, damn, I am that person. Like, I do have those good things going on, and sometimes I just don't take the time in the mirror to realize that. But I'm glad I got to look, from somebody else's eyes, and that someone went out of their way to say that about me. That's pretty incredible, and I think that I certainly built a lot of confidence from the More to Life retreat. And Scott just said that it gave him a different perspective on who he was and what he should have been doing, in college, and making sure that he was, spending his time right. And one thing that Scott said is he's glad that he's turning over more meaningful rocks in his life right now. I thought that was was a cool thing. I think we're always trying to change things up and switch things up, and what's under here, what's under here, what do we discover, what do we explore, and now he gets to focus on more meaningful things. So that's pretty cool. He's also hosting Thanksgiving this week for his first time doing that for a bunch of teachers at a school. He's in Las Vegas, so a lot of people are transplants, and they don't have home nearby. So I thought that was really awesome of him that he's doing that this upcoming week. So I'm proud of you for that, buddy. That's really cool, reaching out. On Saturday, I went to visit my friend at Dayton. I had the opportunity to do that, and I was like, well, of course I got to go. It's Scott's week, so I'm going to go to Dayton. And where we went to More to Life was at this place called Glen Helen. It's a retreat center. It's kind of like in a park system. It's a preserved area. I don't know the best way to say it. There's like a little building there that has a kitchen, and that's where we did our talks and our activities. And there's a bunk building. There's a bird exhibit. I don't know. There's of injured birds that they're trying to rehabilitate. There's lots of stuff going on there. But I was like, you know what? I have to go. I just have to go. And actually, I went there, and there was some sort of retreat going on, so I couldn't actually go scope it out totally. But I did check out the bird exhibit thing where they are, like I said, rehabilitating different birds. And it brought me back to this moment when I was young. This has nothing to do with Scott, sorry. But I used to love birds. I was fascinated by them. And not just by, like, the flight, but I thought that there was, something cool about, like, the physics of, these light feathers, but, a bird being able to fly, or kingfishers who swoop down into the water to scoop up their food. I just thought they were fascinating animals. It was cool to go through this little walk and be like staring down, a peregrine falcon, like 20 feet away from you, or having like 3 owls like stare you back, and I honestly felt like I was communicating with the one. I was probably looked really dumb to everybody else, but I was making, I don't know, hoot noises or whatever, tweets. But then they also had a bald eagle there, which is nuts. Just staring you down. Just there's a bald eagle right there, looking at you. Like it was a cool moment. So I didn't get to go to the waterfall at Glen Helen, which was kind of a thing from the retreat, but I got to have that moment, and it kind of just took me back to being a little kid. So I kind of wrapped up the week on Monday with Scott. Took an extra day. I wanted to make sure I had another phone call with him and talk about that weekend and what happened. And that's when we were talking about how we really appreciated More to Life and how people saw so much good in us. And there's this thing that we did on retreat called LAPS, Letters of Prayer and something. I don't know, positivity. I don't know. But Scott has that in his classroom, and he's added different letters in there from students or from coworkers or from family, and he says it's like the story of me, and as told by different people. Kind of creates a biography of yourself, through everybody's perspective. I thought that was pretty awesome. And the last thing I kind of wanted to end with was Scott said on his bucket list was something that's pretty close to Vegas. I think he said it's in Salt Lake City. It's called Holy. It's a festival. Scott, I looked up the day. It's Friday, March 6th. So put it on your freaking calendar and make it happen. But the cool thing, Scott, you told me it was a festival of color. I looked it up. Not only is it, that is also a festival of love. And I think if that doesn't sum up 52 kinds of love, I don't know what does, buddy. So there you go. Make that happen. I wish that was my spring break, I would come and go with you. I would go to Salt Lake City and make that happen. It's a Friday. I don't know. We'll have to look into it. I don't even know if there's like 17 holies or like all around the world or like one. I don't know. Okay, couple cards left. We got Scott. You're gonna like this. We're just talking. I dedicate this week to Christina. Check in next week to see who Christina is, why there's a little computer on there, and how the week goes. Bye. Peace. 52 kinds of love.